Hello, my keto friends. I am finally back out on my paddleboard. We've been having some windy weather here, and if you know anything about the wind, you could easily get pushed off away from the island in a matter of minutes, and it's pretty dangerous. So whenever the wind picks up, I do make my way quickly back to shore. But I want to talk about, is that keto? It's a question I get every day on Instagram, on Facebook messages. Hey Maria, is this really keto? Whether it's a sugar-free product or a product that says that it's, 2 net carbs, whatever. Let me start by saying that you could put MCT oil all over a big bowl of white rice and still read ketones. But guess what? You're going to gain weight like a banshee. And so I want to talk about, is it keto or is it healthy? But a few things to talk about. Al Roker on Monday made my keto bread on Instagram. Check out Al Roker, and he loved it. So that's awesome, because the Today Show asked if they could feature my bread recipe, and I said, yes, ma'am. If you want to try my bread recipe, just go to mariamindbodyhealth.com and search the best low-carb bread. I wrote that recipe about 12 years ago. It was a thorn in my side because I made it perfect the first time, but guess what? I didn't write the recipe down, and every time I made it since, something flopped. It wasn't rising like it did the first time, and it took me about a year of making that bread 3 times a day. Craig was making it. It's crazy. So back to, is it keto or not? So yesterday I got a question about some product that said it was sugar-free. It was a energy drink. I got to tell you, those are not good for anybody, because we know that caffeine is going to impact blood sugar. What happens is you might notice that your hunger goes away at first when you drink caffeine, whether it be coffee or energy drinks or whatever. But what happens is you're going to have a crash, and that's where sugar cravings happen. People that cut out caffeine, I get messages daily that say, oh my gosh, you were right. I cut out the coffee and I lost 6 pounds this week. That's huge. That's a really big deal. And if you're suffering from high blood pressure, whatever it is, we know that caffeine's just not the best thing for you to be consuming. Tapioca flour, is it keto? Technically, yes, you could probably be in ketosis, but tapioca is a starch. Would I eat it? Absolutely not. So that's what I want to bring to your attention. Sugar-free things or these low-carb products, yes, they can be keto, but they're not healthy. You can do any diet really healthy or really unhealthy, just like Weight Watchers. I read this book called Heavy, and it was this mother struggling to try to help her obese daughter lose weight. This woman would buy her daughter sugar-free Cool Whip and put it all over fruit, and that's what the daughter could eat all the time. There was no limit on that. And here I'm like banging my head against the wall like, woman, give me your phone number. I need to help you. Like, this is not healthy. Sugar-free Cool Whip. Yeah, technically it's keto, but it's filled with all of these vegetable oils and hydrogenated oils that are so unhealthy. Tapioca flour, keep asking about that. No, stop using tapioca flours, tapioca starch, all of that type of stuff. If you gotta read the labels. Read the labels. If they have starch in them, if they have maltodextrin in them, sometimes supplements will have maltodextrin in them. It's probably not going to, pull you out of ketosis, but it's a corn derivative. Just get rid of that junk. You don't want that. If a product says only 2 net or 3 net carbohydrates, and it's a so-called protein keto bar, think twice about it. Because if it says that it's, 28 grams of carbohydrates, but most of them are fiber, you have to count the total carbs. If you really want to be successful, just think twice about them. There's a lot of new keto products out there that I would recommend. I don't know why everybody loves this Halo Top ice cream. If you read the label, it has cane sugar in it. I wouldn't eat that whatsoever, and it's really icy. We tried that years ago. My kids did. They're like, this is awful. I'd rather have your ice cream. I was like, that's great. There is one brand called Rebel Ice Cream that doesn't have any bad ingredients in them. I wrote about it on my blog. We tested that out. Let's see. I've been keto for a year and my cholesterol has doubled. Okay, don't get your cholesterol checked as you lose weight because you're purging all of these toxins into your bloodstream. So your triglycerides are going to be abnormally high. But I would ask, how high is high? I wrote about cholesterol on the keto diet at mariamindbodyhealth.com. My cholesterol is almost 300. I'm a hyperlipid responder, a lean mass hyperlipid responder. High cholesterol is not a bad thing. Cholesterol helps make healthy hormones. So people that are on statins, they're usually also taking Viagra, men are, because it's pushing their cholesterol or their testosterone low. Anyway, let's talk about, is it keto or not? I just want you to think about, is it really healthy? Because there's a dirty way to do keto. There's a dirty way to do Weight Watchers. There's a dirty way, to do veganism. Oreos are technically vegan. Is it a healthy way to eat? No, it's not. And vegans would bang their head against the wall too. But just like that, there's, keto products out there that probably don't have the best ingredients in mind. You can always make a way better meal at home. I'm sorry, but nothing beats a good old, we love ribs and chicken wings. That stuff's way better anyway. And remember, higher ketones do not mean better results. Don't get caught up on the ketone number. Number one, if you're testing with urine strips, you're not testing beta hydroxybutyrate. That's the ketone that you want to be testing. After a while, those urine strips just tell you if you're hydrated or not. So don't use those. But seriously, I'm a minimalist. I'm not a gadget girl. Don't get caught up on a ketone number because it's just like weighing yourself. You get all depressed, but higher ketones don't mean better fat burning, okay? My ketones are usually low, and that's because I work out in a fasted state. That means that I have less ketones in my blood because I'm using them for energy. Don't get caught up on a ketone number, okay? Alcohol, is it keto? You can still be technically in ketosis, but I'm more concerned about the alcohol increasing estrogen. And men, don't turn your phones off or whatever off. I'm talking about men too. Men with big beer bellies, that's an estrogenic belly. Okay? It's not a beer belly, it's estrogen. Alcohol turns into estrogen. And this is why sometimes you notice if you have a glass of wine or two, you don't sleep as well. You might fall asleep, but then you have intermittent sleep. That's called estrogen dominance. This is not a good thing. Again, we know alcohol's better, or healthy for us. Some people argue that, a glass of wine is good for your heart health. No, it's not. Come on, let's be real, be real. I quit alcohol when I turned 21 because it just didn't make me feel very good or happy. We know that alcohol is a depressant. So I just want to throw that out there. Don't kill the messenger. A lot of you get mad about that. But, you are welcome. Let's see. I'm mainly a meat eater. That's right. Like, if you want to do carnivore, that's great. But if you have things like Hashimoto's, Graves', autoimmune disorders, do real carnivore, like the Protein Sparing Modified Fast book, because that's dairy-free. And a true carnivore isn't consuming dairy, and I'm talking like butter, I'm talking cheese, cream cheese, heavy cream, all of that type of stuff. Eat mainly meat, and you'll notice pain going away. You might get rid of your thyroid medication, all of that type of stuff. What about shirataki noodles? Are they healthy? I don't think they're necessarily bad, but it's not something that I'm going to consume. It's not really in my pantry. They've sent me a couple free items, so I just wanted to throw that out there. Let's see. Flax and chia. Do not use flax and chia. First of all, it tastes terrible. We know that seed oils are inflammatory, so let's get rid of those. Flax and chia, they are overrated foods. Do not use them. We're going to find out, and we have been finding out, more of the estrogen properties, the bad estrogen. There's 3 different types of estrogen that flax and chia produce. It's like soy. We used to think soy and soy milk and all of that stuff was okay and healthy, but we now know that soy is not healthy, causing estrogen dominance, and we're going to be finding out more information about that. I'm looking around because there's whales out here, which I'm really excited about. Let's see, made your ranch and creamy Mexican dressing today, and both are incredible. Thank you, sweetie. I will say, that's Nancy, that's my mom's name. That's what I do. I often make my dressings. I make my dairy-free ranch dressing here in Hawaii, and I have a big old bottle of it, so all I have to do is put that over my smothered hamburger, which I have just about every day. We have fish, all of that type of stuff, so. Oat fiber, no. Oat fiber is a grain. Fiber is a menace. I wrote about fiber and how it's causing quite a bit of issues. You do not need fiber to go number 2. Think about newborn babies. They don't eat any fiber and they go poo all the time. Yes, my teeth are white, thank you. Someone commented. I don't drink wine, I don't drink coffee, I don't drink teas. Don't drink sodas, that type of stuff. And I use a charcoal toothpaste. Again, if you go to mariamindbodyhealth.com, you can find out that information there. Did the ranch dressing with pickle juice. That's right. I did a little comment. I made my dairy-free ranch dressing, but I didn't have homemade bone broth or kettle and fire broth here. And so I used dill pickle juice, and it's delicious. It gives it that acid. You always want to, oh, something's in the water right by me. Hello. Oh man, not cool. Scary. Okay, so it rained a lot yesterday, and they always say, don't go snorkeling after a big rain because sharks come. Oh my God, I gotta go. There's a whale right here. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, everybody, I am back. I put my phone in the case where it should be. Let's make sure that it's closed. I had my phone out of the case earlier, and something came up to my paddleboard. This is when you hope it's not a shark and you hope it's a whale. I don't know what it was. It just popped up, gave a little wave, and now it's gone. If it does come back, guess what? I'll show it to you because my phone is now in the case, safe and waterproof where it should be. But okay, so more questions. Ask if a food is keto. We were asking about tapioca starch. Some people asked about oat fiber. I don't write recipes with any of those because I've made all the mistakes, believe me. After 20 years, you have made all the mistakes. I will tell you, I used to eat the sugar-free hard candies that I think Russell Stouffer or whatever you say used to make. And those did not do a belly good. You will get gas. You will not lose weight like you wanted to. I thought they were just fine, and they're not. That was a big mistake I did in my early 20s. Oh, another mistake I did. My mom, bless her heart, in college, she would send me Viactive calcium chews. And I didn't drink milk, so she thought she was doing me a favor by sending me these Viactive calcium chews. And they tasted just like caramels. Guess what? It's because it's basically candy. You should never do calcium supplements anyway. You get enough through healthy foods like salmon and sardines if you like sardines. There's way better calcium sources. The Dairy Council will let you make you want to think that you only can get it through dairy sources, but there's a lot. I did a blog post about dairy-free calcium sources, which you should check out. But it's more of a 4-to-1 ratio magnesium to calcium that you need for bone health, and it's more about getting the calcium that you're getting through food into your bones where it's needed, and that's where vitamin K2 is important, not K1. I'm not talking about the blood clotter. I'm talking about K2. You can find it in organ meat and other things. But anyway, is it keto? Let's see. I can barely read it. That's why I like my phone out of the case. Oh my gosh. Can we cook with yeast? No, I wouldn't cook with yeast. There's so many good recipes out there that you don't need yeast for that Again, think positive, everybody. Think about all the delicious food you can have rather than the things that you can't have. They're delicious and yummy and all of that type of stuff, so you don't need to cook with yeast. And bulletproof collagen protein bars, no. Anything that comes in a package you want to think twice about. The only true protein bar that I would recommend is Mission Meats Beef Stick. I know I've said that before, but all of those other bars have a lot of junk in them, or sugar, or fiber, that you don't want to eat them. If you're that hungry, you're going to make something, or have some hard-boiled eggs on hand. Deviled eggs are something I always like to have on hand. Those are all delicious. Man, I was going to talk about something I totally forgot. All the nutrients you need are actually found in meat, organ meats. Those are all very good sources. Let's see. Okay, why does, let's see, Lancanto sugar and Swerve taste awful? You probably are a super taster. Use less of it. And you might want to add a little bit of stevia glycerite. This is a thick, non-bitter like stevia that is really delicious. I get it on Amazon. I had some shipped here. Again, I'm looking around because I don't want a shark to scare me. Not really that afraid of them, but I don't want to be here blindly. I want to be aware. All right? Yeah, I was going to talk about something else. I totally forgot. If you're wondering if protein is turning into sugar, if you wake up with high blood sugars, it could be a couple things. Are you getting less than 8 hours of sleep? If you're getting 6 or less hours of sleep a night, let me tell you, there's a great study done with Army Rangers. They did not change their food whatsoever, but they limited them to only 6 hours of sleep. And after 3 nights of 6 hours or less, guess what? Their cells started to look like a type 2 diabetic. They became insulin resistant within 3 days. So if you think that you're thriving on 6 hours of sleep or less, you might want to check yourself and think about that. So, corn soluble fiber. No, we don't want any corn or fiber. You don't need any of that. Think about real good, tasty food. Again, grass-fed hamburger tastes way better than corn fiber anyway, right? So, let's see. I've been incorporating liver, and noticed today that 4 ounces, I can't read it, dude, so it has some 6 grams of carbs. It might be the type of liver that you're eating. There's things that have carbohydrates that you wouldn't guess. An egg has carbohydrates. Scallops have carbohydrates. Mussels have carbohydrates. Fish eggs, if you like caviar has carbohydrates. There's carbohydrates in just about darn near everything. So, and even spices. Cinnamon has about 2 grams of carbohydrates. I think that is per 1/4 of a teaspoon. So yeah, they're hidden in a lot of things. I remember I was given these grass-fed organic beef patties, which were really delicious, and I looked at them before I made them, and there was quite a bit of carbohydrates, and I was like, how is there that many carbohydrates? But by the time you season up a burger or steak with different spices and ingredients, it's no longer 0 carbohydrates. Do I stress out about it? Not really. I love eating carnivore, but I also love a fried onion with my hamburger. I'm not about to give that up. It's delicious. I don't see the onion as a healthy part, but I see it as flavor and texture and deliciousness that way. So with that, I'll try to do some more lives and do that when I can read your comments. Bye, everybody.